There's like a nice sort of a like bluey, evilly glow on this side of the face, and then like kind of like an orangey aura on this side.
Yeah, but overall, your face becomes more and more shadowy. But yeah, as I said, let's find out if you are still there at the end of the show, visible at all. But in order to get to this point, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. A and Y and
hello.
Kritisch Diet and Diet Keyframe wonder about random dribble. As you guys can probably tell, neither of this fine gentleman up there is Keyframe.
I could try.
I mean, you're doing your best, and you have a little bit of a ginger thing going on there, but
very passable for a woman. I will say that much about you. It's a very good quality.
Thank you. I try.
But yeah, right now Keyframe is at BC in Baltimore and making all the money. I just became the report in she has already sold out 8 of her prints of her thingies, and the majority of her cutouts. And this was a while ago, so by now she might be completely out of stock. So good for her. So she is now basically doing the Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. If you're watching this while at Baltimore, at BC, first of all, what on earth are you doing? Go enjoy BC.
Yeah.
Second of all, go get the commissions while they last. Go get the art pieces while they last.
Give her money; she deserves it. Also, also just silently say to her #Emerald Sith, and then just leave, because then she won't get it until she comes back.
Yeah.
But could you please stop sending people away from the show? You did this earlier as well.
But if there's a convention, go and enjoy. They should still go enjoy. It's the last.
No, come back. No, stop. Wait, don't go.
You will go and enjoy the convention.
Anyways, I would ask you guys what you have been up to recently, but then again, I kind of know what you guys have been up to recently because I was with you guys, and it is the same reason why we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we just jump right into it, or do you guys have any other big events that happened recently to you except CoxCon?
I suppose. I suppose in the aftermath of CoxCon, I went around cleaning the house after your disgusting individuals, and I may have uncovered these under someone's bed. Do you recognize these emeralds?
I just want to say, not mine. I don't have them
they're
with
not.
buttons.
They're not yours. They're not mine. They're not my father's, and they're not my mother's. So, Emerald, if you'd love to explain yourself, go ahead.
In some terms, there's a little piece of me in your house now. In larger terms, there's a lot of pieces of me in your house now.
Yeah, I know. The drain was also blocked because you have so much.
I have long hair. This is what happens when you have a fucking...
The term is stupid. Get a haircut.
The downside of the floof.
Yes.
No. There are no downsides to the floof.
Yeah, you left your freaking boxes here, you idiot.
Great. Well, you can keep those and frame them and be when my friend came to my house.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
Keep them.
Nail them over, burn them. I don't know.
Yeah, destroy the evidence. Destroy the evidence is probably what you want to be doing. Restore factory settings, if you know what I mean.
But yeah, by the way...
That's the only thing that really happened to me this week, I will admit.
More or less the same thing over here. Also, I completely got steamrolled over. Hey guys, new layout. I did a little bit of rework of the layout. Our faces are a little bit smaller now. However, the big twist is now whenever we want to show something, we don't have to replace anybody's face with it. Instead, we can do that.
Hey! So, what you guys all think of the convention of Cox?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. I mean, should I go first? I mean, I have my opinion standing for 2 years, so it would probably be more interesting to hear your guys' fresh opinion. Since it was, for both of you, it was the first time to get touched by the Cox, right? Your first contact with Cox.
I didn't come into contact with Cox. I managed to stay myself fairly protected. But,
that's good. That's always good, always.
Protection is important, kids.
Yeah.
But yes, I suppose I'll go first. The whole idea, ladies and gentlemen, was that this convention, run by Mr. Jesse Cox, a wonderful fellow who you may have seen on this show before.
Oh yeah, he was a guest here.
He runs his own freaking convention right here at Telford, England. And I decided, well, I didn't decide, I heard that Miss Kiframe and Mr. A&Y would be showing up here in England to go to this convention. And I'm like, hey, friends who I rarely get to see, why don't we throw our own convention, like our own miniature inside my house convention? So that's how it all came about. We called it BritCon. We came from the four triangles of the world. You had America, you had England, Germany, and Ireland up at the top. And we all just sort of converged and stayed at my house for a few days and went to CoxCon and did some other fun shenanigans, as it were. I suppose everything else aside, the actual convention was super fun. It was very well run. It was very well organized. There wasn't any sort of issue, I believe. I was a bit lacking in the vendor hall, I suppose. You know, I was interested to see that with such a resurgence of Dungeons and Dragons recently, that there was only like 2 guys there who had anything D&D related. There was one guy who was selling books, and then there was one guy who sold very egregiously priced dice that I nearly bought.
They were very nice dice, though, I will say. I got a look at them afterwards, and they were like sexy dice.
Like, I'm talking, these dice were made out of jet. They were made out of opals and different gemstones. They were freaking gorgeous. And they cost £60 for one set. Like, that's 1d20, 1d...
Fun fact, since we talk about, vending hall 2 years ago was the same room, but emptier. Less stands in there.
There was less shit there like the last time?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's good to see that it's slowly building.
Last time there was less. Now it was more. Like last time you had the tables all the way around. In the left half you had a few gaming stands like you had this year, but the tables, the row on the right in the middle for vending didn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's slowly improving.
As it gets more popular, like more people, as it gets more popular, more people learn about it, more I guess will come towards it.
True.
Scary Game Squad was hilarious. That was easily the funniest panel, I would say.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They played a few games there. I sat next to who I recently found out is not a fan of jump scares. So that was hilarious. I love horror games, by the way. I am so into like spooky stuff. And this little coward right here, it's kind of awkward to do now. This coward right here.
It's like the fucking window is.
He was like freaking Scooby-Doo. Whenever a jump scare came up, he was like, right, and he jumped
into your lap.
So
I don't do good at spooky shit, man. You should see me in a horror movie. I'm even worse. Like,
Mr.
It's like
the chat gone.
They just haven't typed anything in a while.
Okay.
It's just been a bit of a lull in the chat.
Yeah, they either listen very excitedly or they fell asleep. One of those two. We will know when they now desperately are like, no, we are still here. Then we know that they actually have been tied to our lips.
Yep.
But yeah, a fun fact, so for everybody interested, the first episodes of the Scary Game Squad that happened live there are on YouTube by now. I will put them in the description down below. And if you listen very closely, you can hear the screaming and whimpering of a certain Irish person in the background.
Well, that wasn't even the coolest part. The coolest part for me, and I don't know if they'll upload this, was that so our good friend Keyframe decided to cosplay, as one does at a convention. Yeah. As I think her name was Polly. She was a character from Jesse Cox's game called Monster High, I believe it's called. Monster Prom.
Monster Prom.
She dressed up as an amazing ghost girl named as Polly, and she was one of the few cosplayers there. And that made her stand out, especially considering she was very blue. So when it came to the second day, there was a panel called, I think it was Scary Game Squad versus the audience or something like that, or Completionist.
I think it was Normal Boots Live.
They didn't
Normal
even
Boots
block it.
versus the audience, and they played Mario Party, where they invited members of the audience to participate. And someone who was looking very blue certainly stands out in the crowd.
Being blue and, yeah.
Keyframe got to go on stage live at CoxCon and play Mario Party. I think she was on like Team Pro Jared or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I think that was just so cool.
Here's the sad thing. This is actually Polly right here in the avatar. They did not post the picture with her, which I'm highly disappointed. Highly disappointed.
A little bit of a self promotion here. If you go over to my Twitter, there is actually a picture of Keith.
Let's go there. In the blue and everything.
In the blue, WDWI. Yeah, you'll have to scroll down a smidge, or go into the media. Yeah, that works. Keep scrolling.
There it is. No, there we go.
Yes.
Probably not the most favorable picture, but yeah, you see, this is Keyframe, and she's on stage.
Put that far back, but yeah, it's Keyframe on stage with Pro Jared. It was freaking awesome. Like, I thought that was super.
Oh, there we see her.
Yeah,
fantastic picture with me falling asleep again.
There we have a better picture.
Blueberry right there.
In stupid ass makeup I applied in like 5 seconds. We have a more professional cosplayer, and then we have ANY completely fucking passed out.
Knocked out in the backseat.
Completely unconscious for most of the time.
Star-Lord? More like Snore-Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, you actually do have pixel sunglasses. That's...
You better deal with it.
That's commitment right there.
Oh, jeez.
I'm very proud.
Why the fuck am I friends with the two of you?
You literally have nothing better to do.
Yeah, you're right, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So,
actually, what I was going
to do
your
glasses and my powers combined, we can be Captain Douchebag.
Oh yeah.
You know, I have a Trilby over there, but I'm too much of a lazy bastard to go over and get it. But what I was going to do with the earlier,
the dice.
Yeah, there they are.
That's the dice. I was debating.
Keep in guys' mind, 60 pounds for one set, so not for all of them.
So
for
like one,
just the blue,
just a bag of 7.
Yeah,
a bag of 7. That's all you'd get.
But I have to say, especially with the light flare effects and everything that are in this picture, they look pretty magical and epic in this picture.
Sexy guys, I gotta say.
This looks like some very, very fancy Instagram filter on top of them.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess I have a bias addiction. What's it need? Materialistic addiction, I guess. I like shiny things.
When did you...
That was a fun picture. I can explain that.
When did you steal my jacket?
I didn't. Okay, so on the Friday when they first landed in the UK, we all rightfully did as the British do, and we got piss ass drunk. And the next morning, we'll probably talk about that later on. But the next morning, I was the first one awake, mainly because I was too paranoid to sleep in. Because I was the first one awake, I was the first one downstairs, and everyone had littered their clothes everywhere. So I thought it'd be funny just to like steal everyone's clothes and like just wear. So do you know? People replied to this picture and said I look like pyrocynical.
So I take
pyrocynical is a commentator.
So I take it it's Emerald's sunglasses, as he just demonstrated. It's my jacket, so I assume it's Keyframe's headphones.
No, they're my headphones.
Oh yeah, you're actually wearing them right now. Yeah. Oh my! What did you wear of Keyframe in this moment?
Booty shorts.
Because I can't see it.
I couldn't find anything. I think I had Keyframe's wallet, like her Pinkie Pie wallet.
Yeah, she was looking for that. What did you do with it?
And there we
Nothing.
Dum dum dum.
These are definitely my credit cards.
But yeah, oh yeah, and of course.
Yeah.
So wholesome.
Within 5 seconds, my dog had betrayed me and was adopted by Keyframe and NY.
Yeah. It was amazing. So I came in and I was like, stranger danger, because this dog doesn't know me. Like, stranger danger. The dog like,
love, give me love.
My dog just wants attention. She is.
Oh yeah, and the actual first picture when we.
Oh yeah, that was the first picture when we started getting piss drunk.
Early in the day.
It's a very flattering picture of you, Wayne.
It's a lovely angle. Actually, I don't think the key had anything until she actually came back like to the house, because I was like she was the responsible one. It was me, I think.
Yeah, but then Mr. Emerald Comet up there started mixing what he called Long Island iced tea.
Now it is a Long Island iced tea. Now, first of all, what I was going to do earlier, because I've been building up to this joke for 5 minutes. Hey, British, you want some dice? I got those good dice for you, brother.
I got something better. Allow me to peel back the illusion of my bigger...
No, they can't know that we're not in a studio. God damn it.
Oh no.
And I have the legendary, the miraculous top hat of good rolls. This is a +5 magic top hat that just allows me to roll instant d20s and just get a natural 20 every time. Like boom, that's a natural 20. See,
I see. Yeah.
I can just prove it every time. Just give me a second to find. Where is it? You see there, natural 20.
Totally. Yeah, I saw it.
That was D4 when we started. It just morphed.
But yeah, I've got plenty of dice, sir. I'm fine.
Well, you can always you can never have too many. Is the point that I'm trying to get across here? So for context to the audience about the Long Island stuff, right? So whenever I go out drinking, as I often do, I come from a country where most people are alcoholics, so it's all good. But when you order a Long Island...
Excuse me, good Irish sir. Are you driving this car with less than 2 promille? Back to the bar with you. Oh boy.
Well, it's like we're in Futurama world, where if you're a robot, you have to be drunk in order to do anything.
How? What? How? Why? Show me your armpits.
Nope.
Do it.
Nope.
Why? I need to know now. You think I wouldn't notice? You think I wouldn't notice?
You noticed it because he's cut off on this side of the screen. Like, what's wrong with his armpits?
I will not raise my arms for the rest of the show.
Okay, then tell me why. What the fuck did you do?
Nothing.
Why are they so wet?
Nothing. I'm in my. It's 30+ degree here in Germany. I had to close the door due to noise reasons.
Oh,
and because somebody outside is smoking, so I'm dying right now. It's pretty.
Fan.
I'm melting. I'm melting right now.
I mean, I feel sorry for you. I really do. I know exactly how you feel.
I put on deodorant before.
One more for the road. Come on, please.
One more
for the road.
I
want to see you flex.
I mean, first of all, here is my beautiful CoxCon shirt, which I probably
wonderful.
Which I will probably now go and take off because of this.
Oh,
oh God. While I'm gone, Emerald, please share your thoughts on CoxCon.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm just gonna spray this for you. Actually,
just at the screen, out of this house,
under there.
Out of this house.
Hang on, let me just get a bit of it. Yep. All right, continue, Emerald.
Got to get the stank out of the room. I had a very pleasant time at CoxCon. It was a really nice, chill convention. I'm used to most of them being manic, but there was a nice, kind of chill vibe about the place. It was maybe a little over 1,000 people there, midway
that's much
between.
Better. That's less Running Man, more Homer Simpson.
Yeah, exactly. There was just a really nice atmosphere about the place. Everybody was really, kind of chill, nice little areas where you can just go around, have a sit down if you were too tired of walking around. I will agree that I kind of wish that there was more stuff to do in the vendor hall. That's because I like, either looking at stuff or buying stuff because I'm a klepto and I hate myself. But no, yeah, that was that, and it was actually because most of the things that I do, I tend to do a lot of stuff on a whim. So CoxCon was just why not? I'm going to be in England anyway, the week before for something that we'll get to later. So I didn't really know if anybody else major that I knew was going to be there. So when I turn up on the first day and I look at the schedule, I'm like, oh shit! So Pro Jared and the Completionist are here. That's cool. So it was an extra little cherry on the.
You guys have not really been familiar with Jesse before, right?
Oh, that's the funny thing. I have never seen a Jesse Cox video, and I spent $45 on his own convention. I had no idea who it was. The funniest thing, he walked up to him. This was before she was dressed as Polly, and just sort of reintroducing herself and saying, "Hey, thanks you for coming on the AWKWARDCast." And then I come to her afterwards and say, "Oh, hey, who was that guy?" That was chasing. Oh, that was the guy. That was him. Shit. Sir. Like, I
He didn't
know
do that part.
I didn't even know that part.
I was just wandering around the vendor hall. I didn't expect that.
When in doubt, say nothing. Think about what you're saying, then don't say it, and then run away somewhere.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it.
But was it you or was it Keyframe who basically backwards nearly ran over Pro Gerald?
Oh, that was Key.
Or was it?
That was Key.
Okay. Key just standing there at the desk, like, then doing 2 steps backward, bumping into somebody. Oh, sorry, moving on, and I'm like, Key, you just ran into Pro Gerald. What? Damn it!
No!
God damn it.
Yeah, but that's a fun thing about CoxCon that I can confirm that while there are, as you can see, if you can see here on the there are signing and photo slots for those people for the community gets for the stars. They are pretty chill. Like in between those, when they have time, they are just cruising through the vending hall. Just being super chill about it. This is actually how I got my picture back then, 2 years ago with Jesse, because I just caught him in the vending hall and did not have to stand in line for 2 hours to get an official photo appointment. But in between I also saw later Davis just cruising the vending hall. So yeah, it's pretty chill. That's something you can definitely say about this con. It is chill as hell in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm only really thinking about it now. I half expected, while they were wandering around the halls and stuff like that, to be mobbed by fans. But now that they just kind of went off and did their own thing, it was just kind of really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good weekend all around.
The funny thing is, when Jesse is on the way, he usually has a little bit of a fellowship behind him. A little bit, yeah.
The convention is quite literally named after him.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
This is our guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But Emerald, so far with your overall of the con, before we talk about the rest of the weekend, or you have...
I need to get to the Long Islands next, because I feel like we need to talk about, how I nearly, gave you guys...
Right. Get back to the Long Islands.
Yeah. So, the ones that I think the two of you are used to is that, they're usually pretty sweet. It's like, half all the other stuff mixed together and half, cola or whatever else that you put in it. I take the approach of using one shot of everything, and when I say one shot of everything, I
the Coke.
mean
2 ounces of vodka.
Well,
dear Lord,
she was counting in her head, so that is 2 shots of vodka. It just looks like enough. But anyways, yeah, I made one for each of us.
Yes,
one for us, yeah. And I think. I was weirdly proud of myself the next day because my Long Island turned Key into Plato. So
it was lots of things. It was the Long Island. It was we played King, or Ring of Fire as we call it in England. That was great fun. We had a good bitch fest, that will remain personal. We had a lot of interesting conversation when we did get tips. As you said, Plato came out. He was talking about the revolution.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of revolution. The revolution is coming, guys.
Standing in the garden a little bit on
on the garden.
I was so nervous that we would disturb the neighbors. So in my garden at 1 o'clock in the morning, he is spouting out revolution. It only got better when I decided to throw up, so that sort of sobered me up a little bit. And then what was good about sobering up at that point is that I started to look around and what the fuck are you guys doing? We decided to lie on the grass. It's been super warm in England, so the grass was dry anyway. And that was nice. You stepped in dog poop, which you were so drunk.
I mean, not because I was so drunk, because it was dark in the garden and the dog pooped somewhere.
You couldn't see.
I am just very glad that when we all lay down.
Yeah, we didn't lie down in dog poop.
Yeah.
You got off easy, to be honest, because what was even funnier is when I got up to go to bed, I found a Mr. Emerald Comet sitting down next to my fridge, crying at my fridge. like not crying out of sadness or out of emotion. He was crying at my fridge. Like he and my fridge were having a very intimate.
We had a very intimate conversation, me and that fridge. You should pay attention to it more often, not stuff it full of so much shit.
I was like, Emerald, you need to go to bed. You're locked in the fridge.
I'm fine.
It was. It really wasn't going well.
Interesting. That was actually fun fact, because I think that like that was like the most far gone I've ever been in my entire life.
You are all fucking lightweights. I didn't have to throw up. Did not have a blackout because I recall. Nope, I did not throw up, and I didn't have any lags in my memory.
Yeah, but you guys, but you've got like 10 plus, like 20 plus years on us for, you know, like the amount of booze that you've, you know, gone through.
Oh,
you've had training.
This, I'll get to the ID story after this.
The ID story, yes. So sad. Hashtag so sad.
Wait, do I remember? It's
yeah,
so
this,
sad.
You were there for the ID story.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
I mean, this was
I
mostly
just don't know if I remember it.
So we covered the majority of the convention, and what was this Friday evening where we all got drunk, right?
The Friday evening, first night of the apocalypse.
Maybe to finish up with the convention, just a short recap from my end.
Sure.
Because as I said, super chill convention. I have been there 2 years ago already. I have to say, obviously, being there with friends is a lot more fun than being there completely alone and knowing nobody.
Be social.
No, but I have to say, it's a con where, the vending hall doesn't have too much. Here you see the plan. Here's a panel. There's only one stage. You have a panel, an hour of a break, a panel, hour of a break, panel, hour of a break, panel, hour of a break. So there's only one panel. Not even one panel at a time, only one panel half the time. Then you have signings and photo shoots, which if you are not interested in Star High, who 2 years ago when I had the chance to just casually snatch a photo with Jesse in the vending hall, I did it, but I would never have stood in line for it, and neither would I do for a signature of somebody. So this particular two rows, but are probably pretty amazing for many people, don't mean anything to me personally. In between the panels, you have those giant holes, which are then again not big enough to go to the cinema, for example, because we needed to skip one of those panels to go see the Incredibles.
Yep. We'll get to that later.
So, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so you have only one panel, you have breaks in between, but they are too big to keep yourself occupied at the con all the time, but then again they're also too small to go somewhere without missing anything.
Unless we bought food at the convention, which was kind of lackluster, you really couldn't go out and buy a meal.
And why
you need to like spot in the day to, you know, go out and do something. So you need to like either wait until there was a panel on that you, like you said there, you weren't really particularly interested in to actually get out and about. But the good news was that like there was stuff to get out and about and do while there was that lull.
Yeah, but once again, I don't want to shit on the con. As Brittany said, it's a very well put together con. It's a solid con. And if you are there with friends and can chill out, and they have like a hangout room where you can play games. And I mean, they have a lot of vendors who sell games, so there is stuff you can do. It's just not one of the very busy cons. I personally, about my visit there 2 years ago, always say like I have no regrets whatsoever. As a bucket list thing, absolutely. Happy I did it, but it would not have been something that I would have repeated without the it being the reason to meet with you guys and Key.
Yeah. Do you think that we would ever do something similar like this again, or will we go to somewhere more, somewhere like America?
I mean, for me personally, literally closer than anything in America. So this is one big reason why CoxCon is attractive to me after all. To meet people, yes, I would repeat it. And I mean, it's a fun con, it's a chill con. Maybe the last thing is because it's a YouTuber con, you can see all the panels a few weeks later on YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably with a better view because you see the recording and don't stare at a screen showing the very same recording. And you probably also have better audio because you hear the direct feed from the microphone and not what comes out of the speaker in the hall. So there is a little bit of a weird sensation, of a weird aspect to it. Like, yeah, you watch it, but you could have it more convenient and in a better quality and a few weeks later online at home. Which is always for me like, but it has a theater feeling, like the being there instead of just watching it. So that's a cool element.
Yeah,
you can say you did.
The atmosphere. The main one that really helped was definitely Scary Game Squad. Seeing Scary Game Squad live and having the audience going, as they check the places. That was fun.
It's true. It's Scary Game Squad. It's one of my favorite installments on Jesse's channel in general. And live, it's amazing. I love this quartet of people.
And the ducks.
But yeah, this was, I believe we all said our thing about CoxCon. Yes. So about the surrounding events, which probably in chronological order would start with the ID story on Friday afternoon.
I'll preface this. Everything,
yeah.
Everything about the con, that was the con thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was in charge of pretty much everything else. I had to get these guys, I had to make sure they were happy, entertained, that they were fed, watered, had a place to get to and from. The whole BritCon side of things, everyone came crashing at my house, so I had to organize this. Okay, I have to keep these guys entertained somehow.
Well, give some credit to Gail.
And my parents very well accommodated you guys. My mother was an absolute champion and drove us to the convention center both days. That was incredible.
No, unironically, 2 thumbs up. I mean, British, first of all, really went out of his way, texting. You got the tickets. You did this thing. You are safe. Are you and everything okay? But
you change your shirt.
Pretty much. But
it's very sweaty.
His mom also self-sacrificing to a degree where it was like, oh my god, please, it's cool. This is amazing what you do, but we really a hostess, a very what you expect from a British hostess.
Very polite, But surrounding the stories. So we'll start with the Friday night. I met up with these assholes. We have a lovely dinner at a Chinese restaurant. All you can eat. It was very nice. We nearly went to a karaoke room and then realized it was £80. So we were like, no.
I'm broke now.
Then again, it was £80. The room was free, but you had to consume cocktails for £80.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Now, if you think about it, with 4 people, this would be £20 per person. This is 2 cocktails per person. If you plan it ahead and be like, this is our program for the evening, you can easily get this done, and maybe something for next time.
But we didn't decide to do that. We decided to go to this place, which is a place that I know. It's at Wetherspoons in Birmingham, and how we got in. I'm a young'un. I'm a young fellow. I'm not barely. I've been 18 for a good year now, nearly 19.
He turned 18 on this show here.
Yeah, I remember.
It was amazing.
Oh, that was awkward. Mm-hmm. So I'm 18. That guy is 19, and Chrissy is only 21? 21. We're all young individuals who look young, so of course we have to be ID'd. And so I turned to the group. And I'm referring to myself, Emerald, and Keyframe. Hey guys, you might want to get out your IDs so we can get into this place. It's a British pub after hours. They had a bodyguard out front. So we all decided to go up, get our IDs out, including ANY, and we show our IDs all right, sir, you can go in. All right, ma'am, go in. All right, sir. And then he gets to ANY. And the bodyguard just looks ANY up and down. It's
not even looking at the ID.
He didn't even look at the ID.
Just one look, and it's
you young and snipper-snappers. In my days, we did not just discriminate.
I think what's sad about it is that you genuinely thought you needed to be ID'd. That was adorable and funny. And I wanted to give you a hug. It's it's okay. You're still young.
This is the moments when you realize, oh fuck, I'm really old.
You still pass as an
eternal youth, Ian. Hold on to it.
But yeah, that was the ID story. It nearly happened again at a cocktail place that we went to at CoxCon. What else? Of course, there was the dog, the drinking game shenanigans. We talked about the Friday night. The Saturday night was kind of a little more chill. We played a fun card game that I picked up called Fun Employed. It is a fantastic game. A lot of fun.
By the way, I noticed that both of you are proud owners of Tabletop Simulator on Steam, right?
Yes.
This is correct.
Guess what I found there?
What?
Oh, is that Fun Employed?
This is Fun Employed!
Let's go.
Guys.
We should do a live stream.
Absolutely. Oh, Gaming in Ties. That's actually a brilliant idea.
Of course it's
I have few. I'm a man of few brilliant ideas, but they are special.
But yeah, you please go on about the game because it was amazing.
Yeah, Fun Employed. In fact, give me a second. I think I have it on me.
Play the intermission music.
Hello, Tim. I'm using it as a doorstop, but trying to keep the doors open.
Using the game that contains our cherished memories as a doorstop, you fiend.
So, Fun Employed. This is a fantastic game. I got it for like £20. It is amazing. I saw the AWKWARDCast play it, and I was like, dude, I gotta bring this to my local tabletop guys because they would enjoy the shit out of this. So the idea of the game is fairly simple. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity in its aspect, but I guess a little less biased and a little more logical. So let me pick out some cards for a second here.
So the idea of the game. Yeah, you continue.
You want to play with roughly 3 to 4 people in a game, and you will start with one person who is a job seeker, and they are looking for a job. So this fellow is looking for a paparazzo. He's looking for someone to take pictures of other people, and the job seeker is going to interview 3 very qualified individuals to potentially take that job. And those individuals have cards that represent their qualifications and what they can do, and they're very bizarre. It's a very bizarre interview. For example, I'm holding a qualification card right here. I am a trisexual, and that means that I will be very qualified to take pictures of people from all sexes. And the idea is that you essentially have to convince the other person with your qualifications that you are the most suited for the job. It's a very spontaneous, creative character kind of game, and I love spontaneous character creation.
Shall I?
Go ahead.
No, so you see, as a trisexual, I am the perfect person to be a paparazzi because, you see, I can go in any bathroom that exists. Male, female, other. I can go in there and take all the really naughty pictures.
That's the kind of thing you have to do. You got other cards like, I don't know, spandex. Have, what was that say? I'm trying to read that backwards. Organ enthusiast. That was
okay.
Yeah.
About the organ
enthusiast.
No, about the organ enthusiast and the online degree. They are both.
I didn't shuffle
yes,
these, that's why.
Perfect. Story. This was one of my personal highlights from the game. So I believe, who was it? Was it you, British, who was looking for a mad scientist?
I was looking for a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And before that round, I draw the card organ enthusiast, and I'm like, what the fuck? I understand what this means, like the words, but how can I ever play this? And then British is like, I'm looking for a mad scientist. I look at the card.
Boom.
Bam! I'm playing this one.
That's the best part. It's like, dude, what kind of job could I get with these? And then the dots align, and the character is almost just created spontaneously. It's great.
And I got it. I mean, what did you guys have? Vampirism?
We had a vampire.
And already fixed invention, where it's like, but if you already have your one invention, how are you a good mad scientist to work?
I remember...
And then I had like the organ enthusiast, the online degree, which nobody else had any qualification. I'm like, I have an actual qualification, an online degree in mad science.
Or something like that.
I think like the one that I was proud of was, I think, like Key was looking for a gynecologist, and my like main selling point was I had the antidote.
The
antidote just beats everything. It's like, what? I've got this. It's fine. I have the antidote.
I was so confident in my card because I had a trench coat with treats inside, and I give them treats for being.
You want some blades?
Yeah, and my best card, why to take me as a gynecologist, was tickling.
So yeah. It's such a fun game. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
See where you can buy it online, but if you can't get it in person, save the shipping fees and stuff like that. Or play it on freaking tabletop simulator.
Or if you want to see it happen live, stay subscribed to this channel on Twitch I would probably put it on my Let's Play channel if I ever upload it, but subscribe to this Twitch channel or my Let's Play channel, which is probably on YouTube, linked in the description, and then you might, in the near future, eventually see a party of it. Wink, wink.
The Sunday night was a lot more laid back and chill. We again had a couple drinks. We watched Gigak. We each had a turn showing each other Gigak videos. ANY graced my brain with the true masterpiece that is Eromanga Sensei. And another thing that he showed me after that, to convince him he was a normal, sensible human being, was he showed me it was the English dub of a Christmas special of Miraculous Ladybug. You're too quick on the draw with the dabs there, Mike.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there it is. You prepared it. I'm so proud you prepared it. Yes, it's Santa Claus. I lost my shit.
Santa Claus.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
I refuse to indulge in this. I mean, like,
it was the greatest thing. The depressing character transformation, the edgy Christmas songs of yes. Oh man, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Whew. That was
just leave dabbing Santa just like down there for the rest
there if we have nothing better to put there.
Please.
I could see if
people who like joined late can just look at the dabbing Santa and be like, what the fuck have I walked into?
What's on? Is that keyframe? What happened?
What happened the week I was gone?
A lot of things. But yeah, dabbing Santa Claus took a lot out of me, and we took a break and went to bed reluctantly. And then the Monday morning, after all of the convention had happened, we said goodbye to one Irish fellow who forgot to pack his underwear that he left under the bed.
Think of it as a present.
We left earlier than him, actually. We packed up and went to Fort Park. There's no need to get like a picture of this, really. I don't know. But, that
we have a picture from there.
Have a good picture of it. So Fort Park is, I guess I'll explain, like, the best theme park in England. Like, it's the best roller coaster park if you just want to go on fast rides, big queues, and searing sunlight.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to say something again?
No, it's the sunlight. It was pretty melting warm.
Yeah. Like, we constantly had paper that we had to dab like surgeons in order to keep the sunscreen from melting into our eyes. It was cool, but also kind of fun at the same time. I've been to Fort Park twice in my life, but you, ANY, have never been, so I'm very interested to hear your thoughts.
Very roller coaster focused park, which I personally like because I'm a big fan of roller coasters. Damn it! Oh wait! I found it. And I'm horribly monotasking. I'm sorry for that.
Technical errors, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with you.
I guess I'll continue describing stuff like while you're talking.
Because I have another GIF I could put in here.
No, memes. No, stop the memes. No, I'm wearing those same shorts. Oh God.
I didn't prepare it well.
I look like those kind of. That's a terrible backflip. I don't know why I did it so poorly. There is such bad form in that backflip. I look like one of those monkeys that go and then do a backflip. Like,
with the symbols.
Okay, I could break down why this backflip is terrible and why no one should clap. It is just awful. Look at the form for a second here. I throw my head back. That is not something you do, because if you throw your head back, you are just increasing a chance of breaking your stupid ass neck. I don't even tuck, really. I just kind of have my legs drifted too far apart, and I just kind of let them frog out, as we call it. It is terrible. No one should applaud this, especially that guy who paused clapping to see if I was safe and then continued clapping.
Okay, Emerald, do we have a gift from you? Can we replace everybody in here with a gift?
Yeah.
I know that there are gifts of me, so...
No. Hey, listen. I'm not important enough yet to have a GIF. I mean, you can find one if you want, but if it...
Audience, you know what to do. I need a good GIF of Emerald to the next cast. He has been on the show a few times. Go through the old episodes. There will be some silly moments you
haven't
can
done anything meme-worthy, though. I just sit here and, like, listen to you two ramble. It's like, yeah. Oh, is it my turn now? Okay, yeah.
But my impression from the park. So, I mean, sadly, the one thing that will probably stick in my memory forever about this park.
I think I know what it is.
Oh, I don't think I've heard this story yet.
Does it have to do with a certain measurement of time?
No.
No? Oh, I was thinking about 10 minutes.
Oh, no. It has something to do with it. This one actually never stuck with me as much as with you guys. No, what really stuck with me personally was a certain, I assume, healthcare-oriented law that Great Britain has.
Yeah. Oh, no.
What?
So the progressive country of Great Britain is like, our children are too fat. They don't eat healthy. Let's make laws to make them eat healthy.
We drink too much soft drinks. Like
let's because the one cause of bad diets is obviously soda. So let's invent the sugar tax.
I mean, it's a bad cause. I'll give them that much, but like.
It's symptom.
It's a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, but it's very, very punctual symptom fighting. It's like you're basically never having a shower and have acne like crazy and focus on this one pimple over here. And I see what you mean. Yeah, and instead of actually cleaning something or changing something about your life habit, no, you are focused on getting rid of this one pimple by popping it and not getting clean skin in general.
Focusing on the rest of
it. I know where you're going with this. I should have taken a picture of it, actually.
So this is already stupid enough, but it's not unique to Great Britain. I just heard from Danny Ninja that basically Boulder, specifically Boulder, in all of Colorado, only her hometown Boulder has also a sugar tax. The same nature. In cake and everything else, it's super. But no. In soda, sugar is bad. And even so, there are scientific studies that show that all the diet soda are not really healthy either. So
yeah, of course. They're arguably worse.
Yeah, they're arguably worse. So it's even the intention is failed. They fail even at the intention, and it's such a superficial move because we ordered donuts. And
I figured out a way for Keyframe to be with her. Continue. I remember taking this really aesthetic picture of Keyframe because she wanted one for her mother.
Oh.
And I still have that picture on my computer.
Ooh, I can put her there.
Yes. Hang on. How do I? New Skype is weird.
I mean, this will confuse anybody who tunes in later.
Are we wasting too much time, by the way? Should we be getting on to, like, the media
Oh, fuck me. Yes,
what time are we up to, actually? Are we like an hour into this already?
Oh, yeah, we're 3/4 an hour in.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, there is. Oh, boy. Media's... Okay, we need to rush through our medias later.
Okay, so Full Park was great.
Yes, it was a fun story. The donuts. So we ordered donuts. They basically swam in sugar. Ninja had this one donut where he could pop out a solid block of sugar from the hole.
Yeah.
We had like this.
It was about like that.
This deep a sugar without exaggeration. This constant over the entire bottom of the bag was so much sugar. The donuts were really like. Could I have a little bit more donut with my sugar, please?
You had to shake off the sugar.
Yes, it was.
Into that, it would taste disgusting.
Yes,
it was just so much sugar.
And it's like, okay, so this sugar tax seems to be very specific because apparently sugar itself is not the issue.
We bought a bag of sugar.
Yes,
what we bought with a few donuts in them.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And it was so ironic because we went to the same guy saying, "Hey, can we get a refill?" Sorry, sir, we can't do that drink. because of the sugar tax, you know. By the way, here's your bag full of sugar.
But yeah, fun park, amazing park. It had some rides which went like 90, like vertically up, vertically down again. 2 of those rides. Nice themed rides like the Saw also had this vertical one.
Saw got keyframe by surprise. I knew what was coming, and it hit me.
You were just waiting and watching, like, any second now.
Well, I knew what was coming because the Saw ride is cool because it has this outdoor section, which is very obvious. Has this long, you think, that's obviously
but it has a little bit of a dark area too.
Yeah. But then at the start of the ride, it starts off like a horror train. Like you're in the dark, a jigsaw comes out saying, live or die, your choice. And then you are rolling in the dark. And you're like, okay, this is like a spooky ghost ride. And then it drops you straight down. Like
spikes in front of your face.
Yeah, spikes in front of you. Like you are just completely thrown through this torture chamber. And Keyframe hit me after the ride because she did not. It was good.
It was good.
I'm sad I didn't see that now.
There's a lot more to talk about Fort Park, the legendary 10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
We'll put a pin in that and save it till the after show.
After show, good point. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, because we really need to move on, especially because we also have a bunch of questions and good questions. So, rushing through the media, I guess. Oops, this is not the media I was... This
just in. We like media.
Yeah, talk, moving on.
We actually do other stuff and watch the other stuff aside and hanging out and being dorks together.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first? Okay, I go first. Fair.
All right, sure.
So, because I yesterday managed to finally go, if you follow my Twitter, you already know what's coming. Antman and the Wasp.
Antman and the Cunt with Wings.
Yes, it finally arrived in Germany. Because also it's its first week right now. It's not as fucked up as Incredibles, which will not air until September. And sorry for getting distracted by a rant, I don't get it. Disney, I don't get it. Are you nuts? Do you want everybody to watch this as a pirated video online? 3 freaking months between the American release and an international release, or partial international release. I don't get it. I'm not sure what's going on there on Disney's end. But yeah.
We don't get this till next month, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Antman and the Wasp.
Yeah. Antman and the Wasp.
Antman and the Cunt with Wings.
Indeed. As you probably can tell by the trailer, this movie is more down the lines of goofy fun. Which also, this is not really a spoiler, since in the first few moments you realize what's going on there. Yes, it does not take place after. It does not take place after Infinity War. So, like, holy fuck! How are you going to make a goofy, fun action movie after that? By not making it after that, chronologically speaking.
They got Infinity War out for the 10-year anniversary of the cinematic universe. Yeah. Then this came out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that as a thing, it's obviously after, because it airs after Infinity Wars. It's a bit weird, like being like, yeah, this is the same universe of Infinity Wars.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing's wrong.
Pretty much.
Everything's okay.
Everybody feels good. Nobody feels not good. That's good. Then one thing that's also explained in the first 5 minutes, so I don't count it as a spoiler. The moment you sit down in the movie, you know what's going on. So with the first Ant-Man movie, I mostly liked it. It has its own science fiction, which is established in universe. Like there is a pimp particle which allows to shrink stuff or make stuff bigger, and also that there is this kind of threshold when you go subatomic. That then there is a threshold you cannot come back. No? So those are the rules that have been established, and my suspension of disbelief is A-okay with this. Yeah, go with it. However, if you recall Ant-Man 1, and yes, this is a complete spoiler, and fuck you if you haven't seen Ant-Man 1 yet, you will never. The one thing that never sat too well with me in Ant-Man 1 was that in this universe where we have this established science, like pimp particle makes you shrink, makes you go big. Bam, that's the explanation, done. We are all clear. In this very straightforward universe, we have this thing where at the end of Ant-Man 1, what's his face, Antman, Paul Rudd. I forgot whatever his character's name is.
Yeah.
Damn it, Antman, where he goes, of course, subatomic to save the day. And he finds his way back because he hears the voice of his daughter. And suddenly it turns from science fiction, where you have some made up science, into science fantasy. And then again, it's already science fantasy. Let's call it...
That's anime logic, you know?
That's science magic. It turns...
He wasn't strong enough, then he remembered his mother, and then he was strong enough.
Yeah, so it suddenly turns from science fiction / science fantasy into science magic. Because even so, it has been established before in the movie that those are the laws, that there's a threshold and there's no coming back. Because he hears his daughter, he suddenly breaks the established laws of physics and is able to come back from the subatomic level to the real world. And then suddenly he's back and we have a happy end. In the first 5 movies, even before the Marvel logo, pointing this out, before the Marvel logo, we have Hank Pym and Hope, his daughter, sitting there, and Hamp is basically reiterating all this stuff and being like, yeah, but because this science magical stuff happened that completely undermines the seriousness of our science fantasy we established earlier. Because this happens, we have a second movie where we completely build upon this idea. And this made the entire movie, for me personally, a little bit harder to swallow when it comes to suspension of disbelief. Because it was built, the plot of the entire second movie was built on the, from my personal point of view, weakest moment of the first one. But it was still fun, it was hilarious. It's a fantastic action comedy. This one said. I mean, it's a Marvel movie. Have they ever done a really bad one?
Incredible Hulk.
Was it MCU?
That was MCU, yeah. That was the second one that they did. It was after Iron Man. It was the Incredible Hulk.
With the other actor that later got replaced.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Like Mark Ruffalo does Hulk now, but it was Ed Norton who
yes. Oh,
Hulk
okay.
First.
But it was still. Okay, thank you for screwing up my... Sure, mess up my entire... Yeah, sure, mess up my entire layout. Thank you, British Ninja.
You're off the show, asshole.
Okay, I was rambling on for too long. I get it. Fine.
No, my PC quite literally crashed in front of me. I got a blue screen right now.
Oh, then
okay.
Reboot, I guess. Oh, no, you're back. No, you're not back.
Hey,
okay.
There it is.
I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that ain't good.
I guess
quite literally...
Restart.
System 32 completely shat the bed.
AWKWARDCast, the handheld edition.
First of all, thumbs up for commitment. I mean, Keyframe was doing the AWKWARDCast for the longest time on her phone, so that's where we got all those fantastic phone fell over moments, and we see the ceiling moments we got in the first season of the AWKWARDCast. Yeah, you reboot your computer. I am mostly done with yes, folks. It's a very fun action comedy. It has less substance. For example, Guardians, which I also would describe as a fantastic action comedy, but with even more behind it. Fuck you, Disney, for firing James Gunn, by the way. Double fuck you. Getting back on board. He made Guardians of the Galaxy. Get him back, okay? Sorry. Watch Antman and the Wasp is good. It's good. It's not you don't miss too much if you don't see it, but it's good. So I recommend watching it if you can and if you want to, and if you want to stay in touch with all the Marvel movies. Now, by the way, the villain. I really liked the villain. Not saying too much, but really good approach. The villain was probably one of the stronger parts, and the comedy and the action. Whatever, I'm done. While British is still with technical stuff, I guess Emerald, you go next.
All right, sweet. Oh, can we get the camera to hold? We will see if we can. Yeah. So most of the times whenever I'm on the show, I talk about movies and stuff like that. I'm the film guy, whatever. But this time we have a little bit of a change up here because my media is not actually, despite what the picture may tell you. It is not a movie nor a TV show. My media is a stage show. Because the week before CoxCon went down, I was in England to take a look at a show that the Muppets were doing, which was called The Muppets Take the O2. Named so because they were in a venue that was called the O2, and that's kind of where all that went down. And I grew up with the Muppets an awful lot. Saw specials and stuff like that. The movies, had a couple of stuffed versions of the characters in the house and all that kind of thing. The Muppets has history in the family kind of thing. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I was pretty excited to go and see it. There wasn't really, I'd say, the show itself didn't really have a proper kind of story connecting everything to it. It was basically, they were there to do just kind of a show, and stretched all throughout it were like different
time. That was the main plot line. They had to stall.
Okay. If you want to say but it's like we don't have enough content in the actual show to fill 90 minutes, so let's just try and stretch out the show for as long as we can. But I'm talking point A.
This is from the actual show, isn't it?
That is from the actual show. That is the opening number where Kermit, Miss Piggy, and a whole host of other people are all center stage. The host MC for the evening was Bobby Moynihan from SNL. I don't know him from anything else. If anybody else knows him off something, please enlighten me. And then the video at the back there is just all the other characters that were gonna pop up at some stage in the show. It kind of played a lot like how the original Muppet Show did, a really nice, good 90-minute variety hour of a compilation of different sketches, of different musical numbers, of celebrity guests coming on to do shows with the actual Muppet characters themselves and kind of playing up the audience a little bit and get everybody to laugh, and, tears coming out of people towards the end, and talk about the pig. You want me to talk about the pig? Okay, really quick. Did you see, what's it? Bookie Butter, did you see the show, or you saw it, right? I'm asking.
I think he's saying that he was there live.
If you were there live, that's amazing. Because I've got stories to share about
I have a feeling why the.
They watched it online. Okay.
Okay, right. So what he's talking about is the Pigs in Space skit, which yes, they did do Pigs in Space. But because they were in England, the big kind of selling point they wanted to get out of it was they did a crossover with Doctor Who. Hey, your boy!
I'm good. I did.
On the first night when they did the show, they had David Tennant reprising his role as the 10th Doctor, doing a sketch with the Pigs in Space. And on the second evening, they had Peter. Oh, what's his name? Not Peter Molyneux. Peter. What?
I think his name's Pertwee or something like that.
John. No.
He's the Doctor that is famous for having the lettuce stuck to his chest.
Yeah, the white suit. The fifth Doctor, I think, was. Do
you mean this one?
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one.
He is such a legend.
That was pretty cool. It was a really, really good skit. But the main selling point of that whole thing was, I think, what was it? Link Hogthrob, the commander-in-chief of the starship, whatever whatever it was called. But he gets zapped, and his body is rearranged on a molecular level. And every time he changes, he turns into one of the Doctors from all iterations of the Doctor, finally ending on another Miss Piggy as the 13th Doctor, and then having the exact same voice when he pops back up into the spaceship, oh, brilliant! I feel pretty. So yeah, it was a funny show. I mean, it was. I had people, I saw people coming up to the front of house box where all the control stuff goes down for the lights and the sound and all that kind of thing, just coming over and talking to the crew and the people who were directing it and working on the stage and that kind of thing, saying how wonderful it was and how it brought them back to when they were a kid, and it was stuff from their childhood that they finally got to see on the stage. And it was just a really, really nice moment because, one thing that I personally fucking hate about most gigs that you see nowadays is, most people, they watch it through their phone. So it's they're recording it the whole time that they're doing it. And the only, major time that I saw people, pull their phones out was an ending bit where Kermit sings Rainbow Connection and all the rest of the characters come on stage, and every single person in that whole theater
takes the light on. It was magical.
Light on and starts like lighters.
Like a lighter.
Yeah, I've never been to a concert of sorts, and I never understood the whole lighter thing. And then in that one moment, I had a high seat up at the high of the balcony because guests. And I saw the entire stadium light up, and it was just incredible.
It was an amazing, amazing moment. Also, speaking of you being up there, I got to have a bit of fun because full disclosure, full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, and I have checked. I am allowed to publicly say this. I worked on that show. I was a cameraman on that show, so I was the guy in charge of making sure that the wide shot was all in place and that it looked okay. But there was a point at one point in the show when the Muppet Newsman comes on to say that someone in the arena is going to steal the show, and a live camera feed cuts to different members of the audience and who should appear on screen alongside some nice kids, but your boy over here.
Yeah, wait, you don't have a shot of... Oh, okay, good. That's where I was sitting.
Wow.
Oh,
That's the video of the rain connection, yeah. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, this is pretty
so
amazing with the with all the lights in the audience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wild denim is entered.
Yeah, but we should keep talking because otherwise we get copyright claim.
Yeah, I'm just very mesmerized by how nice that is.
So
yes.
I didn't know how to react. I didn't plan to be on camera at the Muppets. So hi Denim.
Hello.
I wasn't sure, like what to do, so I was just kind of like, yeah, and then off.
No, it was really, it was, and actually to be, I'll be honest, because I knew that they were going to do that beforehand, because like one of the guys' kids was in the audience. You just happened to be caught in the crossfire, but it was still really.
The only reason I was on camera is that I was sitting next to another guest who happened to be like, I don't know if it was the producer or if it was like the main guy. It was his kids. So like it was clearly for the spotlight of the children. You just see me going, yeah, hello, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Well, I didn't need to say that because she was right next to me. But yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just a really nice, feel-good show. God knows we need more of them. Like I think the nowadays, but yeah, it was a lovely thing to go and see. It was a lovely thing to work on, be a part of. I really wish that they do go on and do it again, because the level of quality was like pretty fantastic. Yeah. All the voice performances and seeing all the puppets there was fantastic.
Talking about fantastic, what is another word to say something is fantastic? British Ninja, do you know one word?
I know a few. Another word for fantastic would be immeasurable.
Yeah. But this doesn't roll off the tongue. Yeah, I see.
Would be an increment. Would be let's see.
Dude, we are late enough. Say it.
So we went to go see The Incredibles. Right? I'll wait just a second to see if I can get my Skype working again, because I've got it loaded up now behind me.
Fair enough.
Skype is slow, of course. But yeah, we went to go see The Incredibles, mainly because we're at a cinema, might as well go see a film together. And also because it comes out 1 month before in Germany, and A&Y wanted to go see the movie.
I need to see it while I'm in Britain.
So, to go see The Incredibles anyway. I am a big fan of the original Incredibles, one of my favorite animated films of all time, obviously. Watching The Incredibles 2, as someone who wants to go into 3D animation, mainly for games design, but also for film and other kinds of stuff like that, it was a marvel to see how far the technology has come in 15 years of development. They literally killed off the first love interest of Violet and replaced it with a completely new model, just because the first one looked so butt ugly with that CGI. So yeah, that was so funny.
A picture of that'd be pretty funny to see.
Yeah, exactly. What was his name again?
Like Robbie or something.
Oh, it was like Tony or something like that.
Tony, I believe.
No, Tony. Yeah.
Again, so I'll be back in a second.
All right,
okay.
Cool. While he's doing that, we'll try and hunt down a picture of old Tony and how he got assassinated and replaced with new Tony.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is the same character between the two movies, allegedly.
Yeah, left is murderer, right is normal kid.
Whoop. There,
Like a
another one.
meth
Hey,
addict.
there we go. That's a better one. That's a better
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
You still have a bit of like that kind of Toy Story looking human on his face, like on the picture on the left, and like when you put it side by side, it's amazing like how like well done those textures are.
So I went to go see The Incredibles. I thought it was a lovely film. You know, it had it was weird. Everything that I enjoyed about it was The Incredibles, and it was watching Bob kind of struggle with, you know, being out of the spotlight. I was on the fence for a long time about how they treated Bob in this movie, because they made him kind of an asshole and kind of unjustifiable reason. Like, I get it, he wanted to be in the spotlight. That makes kind of sense, but they also made him kind of sexist and kind of an asshole towards his wife and children. Like, they didn't do the thing that I expected them to do. This is a big landmine that people will go under.
Should I switch to spoiler?
Yes. I'm going to say, if you haven't seen The Incredibles, because it isn't out yet for some countries, throw up that spoiler tag right now. Go see it.
Maybe to give one final statement before we go into a little bit spoilery territory. Hopefully not deep spoilers. If you liked the first one, I mean, what was so brilliant about the first one was that it was a family movie, a movie about a family that happened to take place in a superhero universe. And you get more of the same. You have another story that is centered around a family, which happens to be superheroes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going into spoiler territory now. We'll bring the lights up. Tone.
I did
increase the saturation of the border. Put a black outline around that spoiler alert because I can barely read it.
Yeah, if I make it bigger, it is more visible. Yeah, good feedback. Good feedback. I will work on this for the next time.
Yeah. So, I don't think it was better than the original. I feel like the original knew what it wanted to be a bit more, and I feel like the culture around superhero movies, because back in like 2005 when it came out, superhero movies were like kind of sparse. Like, I think 2005 is when The Hulk came out or something similar like that.
Just fun fact. So far you said nothing spoilery.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'll get.
It's just there, just in case, like when we get around to it.
The fact that this movie comes out now in a time where superhero movies are such a tried and true thing, I don't think it differentiates itself enough to be unique anymore. It's just a superhero family. You know, they have the Avengers Initiative in there with the new supers coming in, trying to get the spotlight. The one thing that I thought was absolutely terrible, and it sucked ass, and it just wasn't fun, is the villain. You know, if you are looking, this is the reason why I prefer the original movie, because Syndrome is such a fun villain.
Yeah, and he was right there.
No,
complex villain with complicated morals, and he was actually kind of right about what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. This villain sucks ass. We're in spoilers territory. It's the girl.
I mean, it was. If you, I mean, I did not see. I'm so often surprised by movie twists, because when I watch a movie for the first time, I usually just let it happen and don't think too much. Even I saw the dude and his sister, and I was like, yeah, it's one of those two.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
It wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even that difficult. You were giving it too much credit by saying, oh, it's either one of them. You have the main character talking positively about how he father respected superheroes, and then you have, in the shadows, the cynical sister who talks very strongly about rising up and taking control, how she's the smart one of the operation, and how if it wasn't for supers, her family would still be alive. And then you have the other guys like, yeah, you know, I want to bring supers back into society and stuff like that. But supers are part of my tragic backstory. And you know what? My brother wouldn't understand. He's just a salesman. And it's just, my God.
When you put it like this, maybe it's not that subtle after all.
Like, she is literally, there is not a scene in the movie where the guy is just in a shot on his own. It's always the guy, and then in the shadows, just off of center, there is the girl, representing how she's always in her brother's shadow. And it's just, it's so poor. It's like a kindergartner. Okay, first of all, let's get over the argument for a second that it's a kid's film, because it is a family film, and children are watching this, and to a child, that was probably an amazing twist. but I feel like.
Oh, by the way, sorry for interrupting you. Yes, Lego has a very good point. We don't have a very distinguished visual cue for people to mute it to avoid spoilers. Then please don't write spoilers in the chat, guys.
That's
please.
a good point. We
Common
can't censor
sense.
those, can we?
I
we're
guess,
sorry, chat. That's an our problem, not a you problem. We just kind of need you guys to be cool, follow the bro code, for a second here, and just sort of keep spoilers out of the chat, please. Although, no, at the same time, if they're watching this podcast and listening to it, like, surely that's spoilers enough.
No, but who? If somebody is watching but actually has muted us because there's a visual cue. Sorry, Katarina, I will block you.
Right.
I will
I feel like it'd be much easier, Ian. I know it's a bit more effort on you guys, but for the sake of making the chat more enjoyable, I feel like if you could put up like a timestamp on the screen while you're editing this and saying, hey, to skip the spoilers, just go to this time.
But I will see. You continue talking. I will see that Katarina is back as soon as possible.
All right, sure. So I understand that the children watch this film and they probably super love that twist. I just feel like
what? Yeah.
I don't know, man. But like,
no, it's because like we watch a lot of this stuff, so like we're more in tune with like kind of spotting, sort of narrative kind of tropes like that. I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. The whole point of this is just me getting into A-level media analysis right here.
Oh boy, here we go. We got a smart guy over here.
The whole point of media is signs and signifiers. The director wants to make the audience feel a certain way. He tries to do a certain thing, and he implants a message in that thing. And then as we watch it, we decode that message. Say, for example, if a girl is picking roses, a rose is a message of love, and it symbolizes that maybe she has a romantic attraction. That's the basis of that. And as a director, he made it far too easy for the audience. Because here's the thing. The stuff that the audience will spot, like, for example, there's a blatant scene where Elastigirl is in the evil hideout of the villain, who identity is unknown. And then on the freaking desk is a picture of, I'm not sure if it was of her or of her parents, but like, I think it was one or the other.
Her parents.
I think it was her parents. But you don't even need to, like, it's just so silly and so obvious. It's like, a child wouldn't know to look for that. Like, that's clearly, I don't think, if I was a kid, I have the attention span of a 5-year-old anyway, and even I was able to go, oh wait, that's just parents, So I don't think a kid would notice that, but a parent would, and that raises the question why you would have it there to begin with. Like, I don't know. I feel like the villain was stupid, and I'm like. The thing is, I didn't get her morals. I feel like the villain was stupid, and not. I'm like the thing is, I didn't get her morals.
Sorry.
Is someone? Oh, okay.
So,
her grand scheme plan was to make superheroes popular, so that she could demonstrate that to take them over, and then to control them and make them into terrorists. And just fuck up the ceremony. Instead of just letting the law be as it be, because superheroes are illegal and you literally had to do nothing. Like, the superhero's plan is to make superheroes that are illegal, to make them legal again, so that she can take them over, mind control them, and force them to be what she perceives them as, which are just evil, so that she can then make them illegal again, which they already were. Like, Bob and frickin' Helen, they nearly went to prison because of being superheroes. What was your plan, lady? What were you thinking? You had already won. You already won. There is literally no reason for you. Okay, so there's the idea that maybe the brother wanted to bring superheroes back into the limelight. She could have just said no. She's like, no, brother, I hate superheroes. I'm not helping you with this. So no. And I don't know, man. The villain was just so stupid.
But still, you said it was better than the first one.
No, I said the first one was better.
Oh, the first one. Oh, okay.
The first one is so much better than this film.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the first one doesn't hold your hand as much. The first one, while again, the animation is still fine. The textures, they show their age quite a bit. Again, just look at the date of the first film and then the date of the second film. It looks silly. But yeah, if you can, I just feel like this film dumbed itself down to match an audience who just wanted another Incredibles film, rather than making something to be genuinely like proud of. Technology-wise, the animation and the textures, it's a marvel to behold. Pun intended, I guess. It is a fantastic technical showcase of special effects, animation, and visual storytelling. But everything else, or parts of its story, its characters, it's either same old, or it's worse. So I don't know what to tell you here. I enjoyed the film. You know, I spent £10 watching the film. I don't feel like my £10 was wasted. I certainly had a good time. But when I put any sense of thought or reasoning of saying, okay, why do I enjoy this again? It was just kind of, okay, I wanted to see more Incredibles, and it gave me more Incredibles, and nothing else. There was some other things I could nitpick, like I thought Jack was just kind of trailer bait and was nothing of any use. The universe, they didn't really do much to make sense of that, which didn't matter in the first film, because in the first film it was just focused on this one family, and Frozone, he was there too. You know, that's all they needed to focus on. That's all they needed to set up this world. But now they try and set up this world where superheroes are, you know, a much more illegal. You know, they set up this world where new supers are being born and are coming out of the woodwork, like there's this whole underground squad of superheroes that are working illegally, and I just feel like it didn't work hard enough. It didn't do what I wanted it to make a satisfying sequel. So I don't know, man. If I had ultimate cosmic power, I'd question why we need an Incredibles 2. And because there'll be an Incredibles 3 now, you know, because this film completely smashed at the box office because people wanted more Incredibles 2, and it is a fun family fic for all the family. I don't know, maybe I'm just being elitist, you know? I don't know. It gets a meh out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're back to whoop. Yeah, I personally don't share your meh out of 10. I had a good time. I see the flaws you described very clearly. I would also say if you have been hyped for it for 15 years, then it wouldn't survive a big hype. But I had a very good time in the cinema. I would say, yeah, it's a pretty good movie. As I said before, it gives you another interesting family story that happens to play in a superhero movie. Yeah, with the villain, I completely agree, and with Jack as well. Not saying what you said about it because the spoiler sign is off.
It's just it's trailer bait.
Yeah. I liked elements like one of the new heroes, I should say. The rest was trash, but one of them actually.
Yeah, the rest. There was clearly someone's favorite character at the animators booth, and someone's special OC that they've wanted in there since they were young and children.
But yeah.
You know what I'm gonna say for a second here, and this is gonna be very controversial.
Oh boy!
If you want to go see a really good superhero movie that's out right now, Teen Titans Go is actually pretty good.
You know, I've heard that.
I heard that.
To see it. I probably will end up seeing it.
I will definitely watch it once it comes out in Germany, and then I will also very most likely talk about it here on the show. So
yeah.
So far, I only have seen a trailer. The trailer, which looked actually fine. Yes, it was a bit tongue in cheek about the crappiness of the TV show. So yeah. I will see. I will agree. Emerald, do you want to chime in and give one short input about Incredibles? You, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I liked it.
Fair enough.
I can't really add too much because if I'm being totally honest, it's actually been a really long time since I saw the first movie, so I couldn't really like like all the key moments in it kind of stuck out in my stuck out in my head, but I don't think I have the same kind of I guess attachment to it that you do. I wouldn't call it like one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's a really good movie, but I wouldn't be like, oh, you've got to see Incredibles, man. I'd be like, yeah, it's a good movie.
Well, yeah, I should probably clarify. Yeah. I do not hate this film, despite all of the criticisms I have of it. I don't hate it. It's an okay, fine family movie, but it just wasn't incredible. I can't say it was incredible.
Even so, it was on the title, on the cover.
Yeah,
that's harsh. Anyways, should we still squeeze in a few questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before time runs out.
Okay. We have to do it a lightning round. So for all the questions, try to go like super snappy. Okay. Starflash asks, name one highlight of CoxCon.
One highlight of CoxCon.
Scary Game Squad.
Damn it, he stole. Okay, now we need to find another one. Emerald Stone.
Enjoying the movie, I guess, was
enjoying the movie.
Oh, enjoy the movie. And now you guys have to watch all the vlogs from CoxCon to get this.
To understand what the hell that means.
Go to the Scary Game.
Personal highlight for me, let's see. Incredibles when we were not at the convention. No, that's mean. I mean, the Mario Kart was also fun, especially when you could cheer for people.
Yeah, the cheering on Keyframe Live at Mario Party was my highlight of the con. My highlight of the entire trip was just getting drunk with you people.
Hey.
Yeah.
We should have just widened the question to what's the best of BritCon. Anyways, next one. Debate. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Why?
I am a staunch advocate because it is something that is in between a piece of bread. A roll is still technically a thing of bread, right? And anything that goes in between either a singular piece of bread or two pieces of bread counts as a sandwich. I am a staunch advocate for yes, hot dogs are sandwiches.
British.
It still counts as a sandwich.
British Ninja, your point?
I'm going to say the jury's out on this one. I'm going to Google real quick Earl of Sandwich. Earl.
Don't be English about it,
Earl of Sandwich. Because the inventor of the sandwich was named the Earl of Sandwich.
I know about the sandwich, but like I doubt that in whatever year it was invented that the Earl of Sandwich was sitting there looking at it and thinking to himself, it's good, but like this is the only definition.
Well, no, I want to see what the original creator, if the original creator of the word GIF can pronounce it as GIF instead of GIF, then surely the original inventor of the sandwich can properly define what a sandwich is.
If the definition of the thing is, if the original definition of a sandwich does not rule out a round bun with a sausage in it, then it is a sandwich.
I like my round buns with sausage in them. But, let's see. Earl of Sandwich, noble title, pyramid. Let's see here. Googling.
I guess we put
lightning round. You're absolutely
right. I'm on a maybe. Throw me another question.
I just wanted to say, while Ninja is continuing his research, because we are in a lightning round, Keyframe asks, Keyframe asks something. Has any fan ever given you gifts at cons? If so, which one are your favorites? At least remember if you have a walnut memory like A and Y. Thank you, Keyframe. So
it would be a defined gift because I have an art piece. I think it was drawn by Annie C. Lovely.
I would say actual gift from fans. Gift from friends don't count. I would say because maybe yours count after all. Because I have a few pictures I got from Keyframe, so I would say it doesn't count because she gives me them as a friend. I also got other stuff, but okay.
My gift is also technically from Keyframe, so I'm not sure. But my biggest gift that I took home was that everyone signed my book at BronyCon.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a lovely message from Key, one of my good friends. So that's what I always take home with me. So keep this by me at all times.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I got art, which I guess I can pull down.
Yeah. I mean, I recall the first thing I got when I got to Nightmare Nights in Dallas 2 years ago was this little Luna, because a fan remembered that Luna is my favorite princess. So I got that one. And besides that, this is probably not all, but a lot of art stuff, little letters, which I just keep, well, as together as possible. So, yeah. I have no idea how well they were visible because I had the camera in a bad angle.
Oh.
So I got this wonderful picture. I think Annie C, or is Annie C Fave Star? I think, is that the same person?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry if I've messed that up, but this is just a wonderful art piece that reflects on the what was it? It was my BronyCon announcement video. And then the other one that I got was from Hungry Soma. She just gave me this because she had some spare.
Oh.
It was the full Round Table is Magic crew humanoid form. I'm gonna okay, there we go. There we go. Fixed it. Perfect. It's absolutely fine now. Finished.
Oh yeah, and Face Star is.
Face Star is the person. Thank you. I still kept it. It's on my wall at all times. I still keep this on me. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's all the fan art I got, really.
Yeah, it is a really sweet picture, though. I think I was actually like there when you got it, and the look of like amaze on your face, like, oh my god, no, thank you.
Giving this to me? What the frick?
No, it was cool. Unfortunately, the question actually assumes that people know who I am. Nobody knows who I am, so I actually don't have anything to share on this one, unfortunately.
Well, next time you are at a con, you are now known by awkward people, so awkward people.
You're out of the AWKWARDCast.
Yeah, you're from Britain. Yeah, you're from the Eurocast. Whenever when the second class people, when Keyframe is not there.
You're everyone's favorite.
Okay, 5 subscribers off 1,000. I will hold it over everybody's head when I get there.
You are everyone's third favorite support when people are not here.
Great. We can't find a guest, and Keyframe's out. Get Ninja, definitely. Who else we get in? I suppose we'll get the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Denim Ninja asks, what was your most surprising culture shock experience overseas? I guess since it is a Eurocast, it probably goes for all our states in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a definite one that I can say off the after having been to California. Well, for at a time where I could remember it. I don't know, like how many people watching in the audience right now, like are in the US at the moment. But the fact that like you guys have drive-throughs in your like Starbucks and nobody sits down in a coffee shop, that's fucking weird. I think that freaked me out. That was like, because like it was like the first day that we were doing rehearsals for the gig, and I went out with like a few of the people who were on the crew to go and get coffee. The drive-through into Starbucks. First of all, I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'll just have a tea. I can't memorize all this fucking
cappuccino.
Hopalapa, snuffleupagus.
Glob
go gab go.
British. What would be yours?
Americans don't know what brollies are.
I love this story.
The amazing story of Thursday night at Baltimore. Actually, it wasn't Thursday. It was Saturday. I believe. We had just finished our meal with the TF2 gang, and it started raining heavily. And this heavy rain, it was torrential. And some people needed to get to conventions in like 15 minutes, and we were running out of time.
So the brave hero, hero of the story.
I am disposable in that regard. I do not need to be at a panel. The rest of these guys kind of do. So I turned to A&Y, actually. You were the one who spotted me the money for this. I was like, hey, A&Y, if you lend me some cash, I will go out there in this torrential storm and find an umbrella.
A storm.
It was a serious
storm.
Like,
it was pretty, yeah.
The sewers were exploding. They were like water fountains of their own regard. So I go out in the weather with, I think I only had one brolly with me at the time. So I took it out and I charged through. I went to try and find Ice Cold Water Guy because I knew he sold brollies too. I got up to the convention. He wasn't there. So I spent another 15 minutes running back in the rain like Mary Poppins. And just...
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! just like charging through with my shield against the onslaught of arrows. And I come down to this mall next to the restaurant, awkwardly having to run past the same restaurant you guys were sitting in. I was like, no, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me.
Yeah.
So I run into the mall. My sneakers at this point smells like they sound like clown shoes, like every single step I take. And I go to the stores, and I sound like a madman because I go to every shop person. I'm like, hey, do you guys sell any brollies? You know, you guys got any brollies and stuff like that? Brolly, I learned very quickly, is a British term for an umbrella and is not colloquially shared over the pond. So I'm going to these people saying, can I have a brolly? Do you guys sell brollies? While shaking a wet umbrella at them. Like, brollies? Have you not seen a brolly?
What are these, asshole?
So I eventually find a place, and he goes, oh, you mean umbrellas? I'm like...
To be fair, you don't even have to cross over to the pond. In Germany, nobody would know what a brolly is either.
Mm. They're called brollies in England. So,
what is my big culture shock? Big culture shock. America, come on, something.
Go on, you got this.
I mean, I keep constantly like, oh, you Americans this, oh, you Americans that. I should really have a culture shock.
The one time that you need to do it.
It doesn't have to be American. It could be a culture shock in England as well. The sugar tax.
Yeah, true story. Damn it, I'm drawing a complete blank here. There is so much stuff that I constantly are like, oh god, so silly. I can't come up with anything.
You can't think of one on the spot?
Nope.
Any BronyCon specific ones?
Maybe the fear of homeless people. The fear. I mean, maybe there is something to it, but with multiple members of the gang, it was like, oh, we can't go there. There are homeless people. Like legitimate fear. And in Baltimore, I'm looking around like, this is a super clean, bright city. Maybe if we go into a back alley, maybe there's a reason, but no. Between the hotel and the convention center, you guys don't have to be afraid in the dark. What's going on with you guys?
I will admit, maybe it was probably due to the fact it was my first time in the States. I was afraid to travel to the convention center back to our hotel at the Renaissance. I was afraid to do that at nighttime.
Yeah. Or the time
it wasn't because of homeless people specifically. I was just in an unknown place and I had no idea. You
even have been a minor at this time, haven't you?
Yeah. Lightning round people.
But didn't you forget? Haven't you been the one who allegedly forgot something at the Hard Rock Cafe?
Yes.
So
your wall.
And when this came up, I was like, okay, I will check on him. Turned around and sprinted back, and people were like, oh my god, he's out there alone. Oh my god, hey, why no? And when they caught up to me, they were like, oh my god, you scared us so much. You ran off alone. And I'm like, huh? It's like super busy
time.
Why
were they scared for you? I went back on my own as well.
Like
shit, I was there with you.
Like tourists everywhere. No, I ran after you, I believe. But yeah, hundreds of people everywhere, no side, open place, and I'm like, guys, why are you afraid for me? What the hell?
Anyway,
yes, lounging on. Next question. Where's my Discord? Enigma asks, what are your basic guidelines for getting the best experience out of a con, and also basic courteous behavior?
I suppose
6-2-1.
The 6-2-1 rule, of course. 6 hours of sleep.
That's just basic,
2 meals, 1 bit of food at least.
1 shower.
That's to keep you healthy.
Yes.
As far as the convention goes, see if you can get the schedule as early as possible. Find out what you want to do and plan ahead.
That depends on when they actually put out the schedule.
That's true. See, just keep your eyes open for a schedule as early as you can. The main part of having fun at a convention is just meeting up with people. AWY went to a convention on his own because he's stupid, and he didn't really have much else to do because he was on his own. He didn't have anyone to talk to. So, go to a convention as an excuse to hook up with people. Not in that way. I meant as friends, like
I mean, I hooked up with people on conventions.
you do indeed. Anywho, but yeah, like the things that I did at BronyCon that were the most memorable to me are the ones that weren't even necessarily at the con. Like when we went swimming, that was so much fun.
Oh yes, the pool party at
The
BC
pool
last
party
year
was
was
fun.
amazing.
That was amazing.
The garden terrace Sunday evening we watched DuckTales, play video
Oh
games.
yes.
That was so much fun as
Shooting
well.
the shit. It was amazing.
Or like
Hooters was fun.
like it was with BritCon. What was the fun? The best fun was getting shit faced with you guys.
And was just getting fucked and hanging out.
And board games the next night. And yeah, even a little bit of that.
Yeah, and
a little bit of Davic Santa.
So yeah, my guide for a convention: go with friends, plan ahead, use basic sanitary needs for Pete's sake. What else? I think there was a second half of the question, like courteous or something.
Yeah,
like
courteous behavior.
Well,
I
would say. The fact that you care about being courteous already puts you a step ahead of most people. Because if you care about showing respect to someone, giving them the personal space, then you're already self-aware enough to know the basic human logic of asking them if they want a photo, or asking them saying, hey, I'm a fan of your work. Is there somewhere I could talk or just chill with you for a bit? If they say no, they say no, you know? They are not obliged to pull up with you, as unfortunate as that may seem. But yeah, as the fact that you care about showing respect already puts you a step ahead of self-awareness. You know, there's too many people who don't even have that initial starting point of self-respect, and they just go up to them and they're like, "Hey, let me grab a picture." Or, "Hey, can I come back with you guys to the hotel for a bit? Can I come play your room?"
Don't follow people awkwardly.
Don't follow people.
Approach them frontal. Be like, "Hey, hello, shake hands. May I hug you if you are a huggy type?" If they say no, don't continue. And if they are not friends of yours, and I don't mean online friends, I mean like friends, you know their real life name, you know anything about them that they do not put online. Then you generally hang out with them and are on the same eye level, then you might go with them to the hotel room. And even then, if you haven't done before, maybe ask like, "Hey guys, is it okay that I join?" But in general, don't just creepily follow anybody around.
Yes, that
might be a good rule.
That is the wrong thing to do.
It's a general good rule of life to like not creep on anybody.
If you really, I mean, it's a general thing. If you want to be friends with people who you're not already friends with, that can still happen. You can still go up to someone you haven't met, be sensible, of course. Don't go talking to random strangers. But if you're I'm a massive fan of Anthony C. And I had no real prior talk or connection with Anthony C before BronyCon. So going up, chatting with him, meeting him, asking him for a signature, and then fighting him to the death. That was all just part of the learning experience,
Yeah.
I
can't pull up the video quick enough. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You don't have to. It's fine. But yeah, just be respectful. Leave a good impression. Don't overstay your welcome if you're trying to become friends with people, because that's the number one way to not be friends with people. Anyway, lightning round.
But yeah, it's completely possible. Like, look at people like Chuggly Buggle. All he did was being funny on leaving funny tweets on Twitter, and eventually you came into talk over it, and then you were like, then you exchange. It happened naturally. Then you exchange Skype, and suddenly you're like, "Hey, yeah, I consider Chuggle a friend," like this.
Don't spam me on Twitter.
Yeah, or other example, Denim Ninja, who I just ran into at BC last year, and it was just a general hanging out with people in a public space, and then naturally we started talking, and now she's a friend. So that's how it can go. Just one thing: don't be too creepy, because if you are creepy, it makes you feel I don't know what how does it make you feel, guys, when somebody's so
uncomfortable,
incredibly uneasy?
Isn't there another word like how
anxious?
I personally would go with awkward.
Oh, I hate you.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme is seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for awkward cast. Random guests and funny gags is the awkward cast. Artists and analysis. You do not want to miss the awkward cast. It's the awkward cast.